Wow, this is weird. My camera started up completely different than normal. Wow, I've never seen this before. I'm at 900 already. 8,000. Oh my God, I'm at 6,000. Oh my God, it's 11. It's 12. Don't you know? I'm watching the numbers. When the right goes up, the left goes up. When the left goes up, the right goes down. And down we go. Up the ladder, snakes and ladders. Why? Because in the snake, we process the oil. The hydraulics to go up, to tilt back, to bring over. I'm here because of the difference. Only the difference. I'm not here to show you one side of the difference, how you should go, or to be perceived to understand the second side of the difference, to know. To know the difference, I stand here as one. I look straight out and I see over to the left. And I see within. And I look over to the right. And I see within. And then I come back to who I am myself. Understanding, I look both to the left and the right. And understanding, I look within. I have done 2 for each. That is 4. For not only that is 4, but the first person who told me this information, he told me only the story. Only he knows the truth. And that's 2 more. That's 6. Then the next person on the other side told me a story, and only he knows the truth. That's 8, because he told me the story and I heard the story. That's 2, plus what he already did and what he already knows from what he told me is the difference. I have to take it all together, being one of 100%. Think outside my normal box, because I must think 10%. Every idea is a whole. Thinking of 10% into his side of the box in order to understand it 100%, to come within reason to understanding the difference, not between only mine and his reception, but how he and he are actually negotiating between each other. It's all about. Where is that? Where was that? I had something here I wanted to show you. I'm coming. I'll be there in a minute. Stay with me. Now, I don't even know if this video is going to upload, okay? I'm having tons of problems with my computer, so I might be sitting here right now talking for the next 20 minutes, only to my face, only knowing I have to reflect on what I said, because after I say this video will shut down. Do you remember Mission Impossible? Do you remember Get Smart? And loving it. But he's getting it all wrong. But he sees he's got it all right. Could be the same for me. Bottle of sake in the house. Bottle of ginger beer. Not alcohol, but looks like beer. Hibiscus beer is beer. Pêche Mortel, 9.5%, knowing I'm going off the East End. Right? Walk the plank. Go off the West End. Go off the East End. On which side did the pirate walk the plank? If he was at the bow or the stern. If he's at the stern and he looks forward, it's to the right. But if he's at the bow and looks the other way, it's to the left. So where exactly is somebody walking off the plank? I know, the last step. The last time you lift from 2 feet down. The next step, there ain't no down. It's 2 feet to no feet. 2, 1, 0. The 0 is in the center of the totality, and when you find the heart, you will balance from the heart. Now, Pêche Mortel encore, Disco Soleil, fantastic, utterly great beers, utterly done with the purity of the heart. Now, if they would only go biological in this, everything biological coming back to the earth has to be understood that whatever ingredients you have to put in something a little extra spicy. You have to teach elements, every element, You have to teach them again. Hey, beer, this is an apple. I know you know the apple, but he's on a diet. He's going to lose all those bad chemicals in him. It's going to take 50 to 100 years, but don't you worry. We're only serving the good spirits now. The liquid of God. If you take your throat and you dry it down to the center here, where exactly the esophagus connects to your throat, and when you have acid reflux and ulcers, they pull together and seem like they are one. Then they are one. They talk directly to each other because the pain is continuous. So we drink lots of liquids to keep them liquefied. But that's not what we want. It's a radiator. It's a system. You need to drink the electrolytes mixed in with a little bit of oil, citrus fruit if you want, maybe a little bit of lemon, and gurgle it a little bit. Play with your throat. Let it slide down. Let it get connected inside. The same way reality comes that when the first cell is being born, we need to have blood. We need to have the nutrients that are in the blood so that we can eat. It's the same way a child can grow. So this here and the womb, for me, it's the same thing. Listen to this. If you want to go from right to left, right, you got to jump on a right, into the middle, and over to left. Now, when you jump over right and into the middle and over to left, you might open the door at the same time, so there's got to be two middles. The first middle goes this way, you drop down into the hole, and then you go that way. We'll create the letter 2. The reason for the letter 2 is although you go down the center in the middle, that line of the middle house continues on. You're in the middle. You only went halfway in, you went down, you didn't even go halfway down, you went halfway down in the middle of the pole, you hang on, and then you went left. Also, you went right. If you went right, you create one letter, and if you go left, you create another letter. Should I not forget that if I start as a fiddler on the roof, and the roof is valued at 10, I'll leave 90 till I get to the flagpole in the center. But on my way down, I see other floors. Oh, look! Floor number 8. 8 times 1.5 equals 12. 120 degrees, 1/3 of 2 sides of 240 degrees with the clearance of 120 degrees inside the mouth of the tack pans, in which is the mouth that goes around the pole of his own side. Everybody sees 2 sides to this beer. It's a round bottle, right? But when I say let's go past the bottle, so we go on past the bottle. Give me more light, please. So we go on past the bottle. Look, past the bottle. We go past the bottle. I'm not counting in here. I'm not running into the bottle. I went past the bottle. But the minute you get to this angle over here, what is the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. When you reach 10 degrees of the floor, to reach 20 degrees of the area space, or 5 degrees of the floor counting for the roof and the floor, of 10 degrees space, of a 5-degree floor, 5, 10, 5 is the floor to 1, the roof of your ceiling, and the area space is 5, 10, 5, or is it exactly like the numbers, 4 and 4, okay? And then in between, it's 12. 1.5 times 4 is 12, because the middle has to take up half over what the value of the in-between floor is, okay? The distance is the square foot. How do we measure? So that would be 12 feet, 12 feet something, the same distance of the Twin Tower floors. They were 12 feet something, including the in-between floors. It's the same thing. It's 8 and 4. 8 times 4, 8 plus 4, 32, back door, plus 12 equals 44. 44, 44, 44, 44, go, go, go. Let's play the match. It's a 7-game match. There's a 7th game. There could be an 8th game to tie it up, but once you get to the 7th gate, 7 slides down the pole and digitally connects to 8 and goes, wakes up in the morning, goes, Mommy, I had a bad dream. I thought I was in the Matrix last night. Movement. We all know what movement's all about. Movement. 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 What is all this? It's the bypass and the understanding how to get from A to B, connecting you and you. Everybody thinks this is Neptune. Is that correct? You're absolutely correct. We went from point over here to Venus, the incoming of the spirit between world A and world B. Okay, you want to run it low shoe, we'll run it this way. Okay, it's the A position, and the A position above is 9, the A position below is 1. They call it low shoe. Be connecting here, here, and here. You're now connecting 3 and 7, or 3 and 7 was once 1, 5, and 9. Now it's 3 and 7. Low shoe connects the two sides. The reason this is the extremity, we end up living our digital life right over here and right over here. And that would be the 8 card. Once you see this over here, this becomes the 8 card. 101 is 1 here to 1 here, or 1 here to 1 here, because we made the U around it. We go around the 5 hole. We went around the palm. We went around the totality. We went from the first finger. Scout's honor, from the first finger to the last finger, 5 and 1, 51, 15, the area circle. Scouts, 9 and 1 low shoe. They connect these two together, the in-between here and here, or the in-between here and here. Regardless, go take a deck of cards and take a look what it looks like. It's exactly that. It's exactly that. I wouldn't say anything. I'm not coming here to tell people stories. And if I stay on here, I'll just forget about this. So we're going to take this interception. But if you really know about this, take a look at your keyboard. The 9 and the 0 both carry the brackets. So if you carry the brackets, okay, you carry a bracket here. Is this a bracket? Okay, is this the bracket? This is the bracket. This is the bracket that will connect your 90 degrees and your 11s. Why do you need 90s and 11s? Well, there's 11s for many reasons, but because 9 is on one side, 9 on the left and 9 on the right. Okay, the first 9, okay, the first 9, right, and the last 9, 11, okay, 9, 11, this becomes 2, and this becomes 3. This is either 81, this is either 72, oh, bingo, we got the 2, 2 and 2 is 4, 7 and 3 is 10, 104, that's the most you can get because 0 equals 6, 16 and 4, 12 plus 1 equals 13, and that's where you start. You start when you got 4 corners. You start, how come I can't get this light work? I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense. Does this make any sense? There you go, there you go. It goes, it's coming, it's not coming. Maybe I can get a little bit more light. Hold on, hold on. You know, I have so many things lit up over here. Okay, let me see. This is crazy, crazy. Why is it doing that? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the room and I'm going to go shut that door. Maybe it's that. Is it this door? You see the light on this door? Follow the light on the door. There's no light on the door. You can see me? Look at the light on the door. This is it. The sun is coming in. The sun is coming in. The day is going. The day is going. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're getting ready for dinner. The sun is going down. It's 8 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 8:15 in the afternoon. And Jesus is sitting in with Mary Magdalene, showing you the time on the clock as 9:20, if I remember correctly. Okay, flip the time upside down. No, it was 5. It was 4, between 4:30, it was 6:30. Jesus was sitting with Mary Magdalene. If I flip the clock upside down, it was either 4:30 or 7:30, one of the two times. 7.5 was the gateway. And all of a sudden, the day starts to come up again. And the day is up and the day is going down. And the day is going up. Things light up. They sparkle. My family in the background. I'm going to try and see, maybe I can get a little bit more light into this somehow. There's no, Wow, there's absolutely nothing to correct this, eh? I don't know how this works. All right, so what we're going to get to next is we're going to get to this. Okay, this happens to be the 9 and the 0. 9 and 0. No, sorry, we were finishing here. This is terrible. I need to fix this. This is very bad for me. What is that shadow I'm getting? What is that cross light? What is disturbing this? So much light. It's unbelievable. First it's one thing, then it's the next thing. Wow, that's crazy. It's like blocking all my light in here. I'm gonna try and eliminate the light. Okay, I'm gonna try and eliminate the light right now. I'm gonna take out all the light in here and put only my light without the outside light. Okay, I'm gonna change all this light. We gotta sit here an hour. There you go. Okay. How's that? See that little package in the background? I started to work on a new piece. It's a new piece I'm working on back there. Can you see it? See the piece? That's what I'm working on, ladies and gentlemen, right there, 1639. That's a piece I'm working on. It's going to take me a couple of months to do it, but take a look in the top right-hand corner if we can get the light there properly. You know, I have one more light that I'm going to turn on. Yeah, we're sitting here together. How is everybody today? You know, I come here, you know, have a good time, speak to myself, make a few friends. I'm being honest when I come here. I show you everything that's going on. I hide nothing other than what is unfinished. It's for yours to discover. Things work, things don't work. That's the camera. There she goes. Listen, when you're trying to document something, you take all the documents. What am I going to cut this up? Cut this up because it doesn't look good to some of the audience? Then if it was too perfect, what would the other guy say? He says, oh, this guy is perfect. I don't know if I want to like be on his thing because he might hear one of my stupid remarks and then he'll think I'm stupid. Like, can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you one thing. You really don't know what stupid is, do you? I think anybody who thinks stupid of stupid, they're dumb. Because everything is just a difference of understanding. That's all it is. It's a separation from the reality. And the reality is number 5. It means I can look to the left 5, I can look to the right 5, but as long as I'm at 5, I have all the right extensions to see everything. Because without 5, I have nothing. Because 5 automatically tells me the in-between is 3 or 2. It's nothing else. The heart is either here or it's here. And at the same time, it's also going to be here and here. The top always retains the heart. You only get what is plugged in after it. You are the add-on to the heart. We cannot destroy the heart. We destroy the roots, and we start over again. One of many zeros. Does everybody know the importance of the smallest number? The importance of the smallest number of a value is 1. When 1 is captured in between 1 million, it becomes the 9th zero, becoming 1 again. Because every 0, in order to get to 0 from the beginning, you had to have at least 1. And to become 0, with the hole in the center, the donut had to be there first. For you to become anything, you must throw your donut over to the timbit and put that hole in the center so you don't have a hole in your heart. And then your energy is combined exactly through the earth, where you almost feel like you're climbing the tree when you never go up. You never lose your balance because you understand the difference is only to pay attention. To know the difference is to pay attention. To understand the difference is to understand the value of the difference. If I see you and I see him, and he's her and her's him, and I said that all wrong and it was a kangaroo, whatever they do different is their differences. If they don't see, I see two things. The two things I see, I say to one on the left. He hears the two things and has something to say about what I just said. So that's 3. I hear what he says, that's 4. We discuss it. The conversation comes together as 5. The whole thing's done. Thumbs up. He's up with his thumb. I'm up with my thumb. My 5 fingers plus a thumb. His 5 fingers plus a thumb. That is 6 and 6. Add 1 for being number 1. And you have 7 and 6, 6, 7, 6. Do you know why? Because nothing is higher than the gateway 7. To the left or the right is 6, but it's not true. To the left or the right is 4, but that's not true either. To the left is the spirit, and once the spirit holds on to the soul, they're exactly the same thing. The only thing is the passage in between has twice the value of on the outsides, and the outsides have to have 3 times the value because they've been split apart and there's been an extra value in between. If I separate from you, they give you a link to link back. They give me a link to link back. I am now 2, you are now 2. We plug the links together and we become 5 and we're back together again. So nothing begins until 5, and every time you get 5, you go around in a circle. 360 degrees, but now you have to make it into a cube. 1800 times 5 and 5. It's all about 1, 2, 3. How do we use our fingers and where the heart is? This heart is between 2 worlds. It spins the record on 2 sides. In comes the delivery of the spirit. I ask the question, it goes up to the major computer, and it comes back. My friends, we have lived through 2,000 years of history. 2,000 years of history. We are the dogs. We came here as cats. We played dead like the dog. Red Rover, Rover, move over, bend over. Hoover, hover, undercover. The times are changing, but nothing will change unless we still do not understand the purpose. The purpose is to understand how long you can stay by yourself without getting angry, but we're trying to understand everything, finding the logical understanding of what makes the difference and how to mend with the rest of the cells. We're a virus. We are a virus. We can think and decide and choose. And any one of us can look the same and always choose different. So they give us signs of the zodiac, days of the week, months of the year. Where an animal's birth, how many times do you think an animal says to himself, I was born on April 1st? What happens in the forest? Does he say, I'm born on April 1st? No. He looks up in the sky and it never goes away. What he sees in the sky never goes away. He was born under his vision, and he lives under his vision. No baggages in the forest. You can get as angry as you want. It has something to do with creation. Death has something to do with creation, for recreation. Death, every time you throw something into the bin, every time you throw something into the bin to be recycled, that is a death. We don't need plastic to talk. We don't need gasoline to speak, but gasoline speaks. We speak because we are the virus. We can pick up and speak for anything our heart desires, because in our life with free speech, if you speak and you enter it onto a page that we have been spoken and we have spoken to, the machine will come back and say, you use poor judgment, please decide left or right. Do you think this or this? We make statements, in between statements, thinking that we actually told everybody exactly what we see, but we told everybody half of something. And when you tell half of something, you've told absolutely nothing at all, not even the hint. When you watch a TV story, when you go to the movies, they show you, oh my God, they get you high. What is it? They get you intense. And then all of a sudden, it's all not true. They're just trying to trick you because we're tricky people. We all have a perception in our own way, which is the best way to find justice amongst people without them knowing you're checking, playing a little dumb so they can't take advantage of you, at the same time teaching them without teaching them anything at all. And then eventually when you see these people again, if it was tardy the first time you met and tardy the second time you met, you will wind up a little bit like this. And you will not climb the ladder. You will become the serpent, and you will go down the ladder. You will go down the ladder. The lower the ladder, the better you live. The snake goes down. He winds down. How do you measure how far and how long a snake should be, depending on the size of the pole, depending how many ribs he should have as it comes around, exactly like the barber's pole, understanding what one is, or 1 cubic foot, or 1 meter. If 1 meter, the meter is running for the street of an area space. That meter that's 3 to 6 inches wide by 6 feet high, that takes your money, that gives you a paper, is occupying a space on a sidewalk that hundreds of thousands of people pass. Your car is on the street in between traffic, it could be hit, and you're taking up a space of 18 by 9 feet because you have to get out of the door of the markings of the white space. And this is supposed to be an easy system? When you look at a sign, it says, well, in February, in March, in July, take all these signs down and put LED. No parking today. All the street signs, take them all down. It should have been done a long time ago. Take all the street signs down. Put everything in writing, in clear writing. If you're English, press a button. If it doesn't work, you can't get a ticket. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to know what 101 is all about? It's pretty easy. You see the lines on this side and this side? Okay, that 1 has to be over to flip this way. I mean, that 0 has to flip this way. That 0 has to flip this way. So you take the pole. What is this pole? This is the 90-degree center value all the way down. Solid like a rock. Then there's 1 line over here in the middle, all the way across. But wait a second, it's not all the way across. That's not how it happens. We get a line and we go underneath over here and we go all the way across. And we come back and we get a line, we go all the way across. So we take the camera and we pray like God that the difference between day and night. Look, there's the lights. Okay, there's my light. Okay, what's going on with this? Because I can barely see. This is your value. This 0. Okay, this 0. Hey, boys, stop playing with this. We got a 1-hour show here. You know, we want the people to sit down. I might be here a whole hour. I could be here 2 hours. I may never get off. That was time heaven, 28, the birth, 7 months to 31, the backdoor ring. Here comes Jesus, 3 and 3. We know that. 36 creation. Go up to 47. Time begins. We go all the way to 56. Do you understand? No, 54. 54, it stops. It has to stop on 54. It stops on 54. Okay, you know why? Because this is 54. Okay? This is 54. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 54, okay? It's these 4 here. See these over here, right? But this is not exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this one over to this one here. And then this one over to this one here. Okay, this is your one angle. You see the angle this is on? And then you take the other one, you do the same thing from over here. Okay, but this time you take it and do it to this one here on this side. And then you run it down here on this side. Okay, and now you take it and you join these two together. Okay, and now you go up over here. And this creates the letter R. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do with this. Understand when I make one cover, when I make one draw with one pen, and the minute I go over a line, I show you one dimension. I need to remove the line and put a different color over the line in order to show you two dimensions, matching one dimension with two dimensions, creating what I call is the teapot, which is the cross line this way. Because the minute you cross a line this way, or this way. When you cross a line this way, you are crossing the same line in Q. But the R letter is a derivative of Q, okay? As the Q shows its flat back by drawing a circle, putting a line in it, showing that the circle is part of the left and right line. It is the bubble. It is its full extension of itself, touching the other sides. If there was a circle in between, it would show it's combining it. We have to understand, because in the game of roulette, a direct hit is 35 to 1. Okay? All the numbers are 35 to 1. Then 17 to 1, 8 to 1, 11 to 1, and etc. And they all have their own reason. So we show this, okay, that this is the above, this is the below, and these corners are only the rollers to keep this ball rolling. All the space is used. One roller here, one roller here, one roller here, one roller here. If that roller's there keeping this moving, that roller has to go this way, while the other thing is moving this way, around and round, in between two rollers on each side that have a K light, because it goes into a K, a wide K, and then the rollers work and it spins. And that creates your K when the two come together. Okay? Do not forget that here's something I like, zone. How about 1? How about 0? How about on or in the zone? This is more. 0, 1, and the same thing, it says nay, N-E-Z, Zion. When you have O, you have I, because the only way to get O is 9 and 6. How else can you get O? Because you have 3 dice in the game. 3, in which what you begin with, because you split. You take a diagonal line and you split. You split. Don't forget the rules. Got to make a right angle. And I can show you a ton of places I found this before. This is a rule. Now, what does it do? What does it do, and what angle did I do by creating this? I'm not a mathematician. If I would learn a little bit, I could take it 2 levels higher. You know why 2 levels higher? Out of where I am and into the next one. 1, 2. Just like the stories. Just like the number of stories to a building. The value of 1 block. The value of 1 block. We talk Rubik's Cube blocks. Where does he live? 42nd Street. Where does he live? 42nd Street. That's a hell of a block. Do you see what happens in the Big Apple? Do you see what happens? Is it my perception that in the Big Apple, when you walk down on 42nd Street, you are in the middle of multiple worlds, my friend. You must have to reconstruct the square of New York, turn New York into England. Why? Because in England they say square. Is that not true? Where do they commence to say square? The word squares. And then you'll understand how people are now coding things. Not because they want to code, but because we use slang. The slang is the code. Slang is the difference. Slang is the difference. It's the difference between you and your friend going, hey, shag, wow. Oh, have a good day. That's what I just said, right? It's all in the slang. Now, I brought the beer up here, and I'm having a beer today. Okay, I've got a big Monday. I might get my license back. But if I don't, it's going to be a sad day. But it'll be gone very quickly because there are no sad days anymore. It's so fantastic what's going on. I just like this so much. I have something to do all the time. I feel like I'm learning. I'm not sure. So I'm sharing it. just in case, because I'll never know if I learn if nobody else can check me. Check me. See what I'm doing? See something different? Let's build whatever it is. If we see a difference and I like it, just let's go. I want to build the Empire State Building, and all I want to do is A, B, C. The floor I stand on, the roof above, the distance between my head and the roof, and the difference between what I take up for the height I am. What are those numbers? And you know what? Do you know what? It goes all the way up to 7 foot 1 inch. Then it's a different dimension. Why 7 foot 1 inch? Because 7 and 1 and 9, okay, equals to a whole 10. Not that it takes another 11 inches to get to the 12. 9, 11 is the extension between 9 going over to 11, and all you're actually doing 9 to go over to 11 is 10. 10 is one whole plus 3.75 and 3.75. 10 plus 17 to connect the two sides. Okay, now what was I doing? I came up to 7 foot 1. 7 foot 1. We need 9 inches for a 10. Okay, if it was 8 inches, it would equal to 2 worlds. Okay, hold on a second. I and I equals 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5. 5, 9, 5, 5, 9, 5, 9. Okay, so you go with 9 inches, it becomes 10. 10 reflects 7. 7 automatically says there is a gateway between this side of your mind and the other side of your mind. It means before you go to the gateway, you divide as the snake. You run down the snake, I read what's inside your mind, and then I add to it. So that when your other side of your mind sees it, it says, holy shit, where'd this guy come from? Where'd this guy come from? Must have come from another world. I don't get it. I'm the soul. But what do I know as the soul? If that's what this guy says, let's go for it. Let's call it my ego thinking. My ego thinking. Got to profit from it. Somebody might push me too hard. Because you know what the whole thing is? We don't know how to teach each other. And we're not supposed to teach each other because no one wants to be taught anyways. But the reality is, we have to say it that way. We must teach each other. And we teach each other by doing things our own way. Everybody has to know for their own self, if they do want the peace on this earth, how to understand, to receive, and to give out and understand the perception of another. Now, if somebody's rude and somebody says, you're quite rude, sir, you're quite rude, sir, say it nice. I find it a little rude. If somebody says I'm a little rude, well, explain it to me. How am I rude? I would like to know. And we can't get between each other. This can't turn into an argument. I know right before it starts. This can't turn into an argument. It only can turn into the differences. And we should both be so intrigued to see the side of the other. To be able to match and bring the boats and exchange the jewels of the pirates of the Caribbean. Have a bottle of Chivas Regal. See those ornaments down there? That's why I have it. I feel compelled to explain myself and to prepare to explain myself under feelings of judgment, priority judgment, in which I have caused all by myself because I know the way everybody is thinking and I know it hasn't changed. If it has changed, then we should get along a whole lot better. Because if it ain't a good understanding, I ain't going to be there too long. I ain't going to be there. There ain't any excuse that I'm having my period. I'm all fucked up. I ain't going to be there. There's no excuse. I'll comfort you if you're not feeling good. But don't freak out on me. Don't give me any stories. You are who you are. I am who I am. We passed in the forest. I saw you, you saw me. We were careful of each other because of our temperament, and then we moved forward. They reveal things that reveal themselves, lining things up. And then the question comes like this. changing all the time. You never know what's going to happen, right? It's just a weird world. What if you shake the camera just about? What if you shake the camera? What happens to the distortion? What can you see and what can't you see? Maybe they'll go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. And on the ceiling, then you start to shimmer it. And you start to shake it. And oh my God, where am I? I'm hanging out all in the wrong places. So you just move it just a little bit. Just a little bit for them to go for a walk. They're going for a walk. They're going for a walk. Has anybody taken into consideration that I like to paint? I just like to paint. Paint. It's fun to paint. Just paint. You know what I want to do? Just give me a second. I'm taking a 2-second break here. Trying to take this light off because I don't like the what's it called? Woo! That's hot! That's hot! That's hot! That's hot! That's hot! Woo! That's hot! That's hot! Woo! That's hot! That's hot! I'm taking off that. Ah, that's burning hot! Oh my God, that's hot! Ow! 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 Oh! 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 That's hot! That's hot! Oh God! Oh! Come on! Oh! I got it! 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 I took it apart. Could be my head. Hey, Kimosabi. Maybe we get it like that. Yeah. Yeah, let's light up, hey. Let's light up. Everybody ready to light up? I told you. I told you. I told you. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you. I don't want to tell you. Home alone. Nobody's with me. Everybody's saying, what do you do? What do you do when you're home alone? I make sure of one thing. I put my candles where I can see them. Since I'm always on TV, my mother called me up. She says, what are you doing? I says, Mom, I'm on TV. I'm going on. She says, you still watching that show again, Mr. Tackpans? Yeah, Mama. Still watching that show, Mr. Tackpans, Mama. You've been watching him for a couple of years right now. At the beginning, you told me he was way off. I said, yeah, Ma, he's still way off. But don't you worry. He's always correcting things, Mama. I always see him correcting things, Mama. Can I do anything else for you, Mama? Mama, anything? I'm your child, but don't come to me at 2 o'clock in the morning and tell me you need breakfast. But, Mama, I'm letting you know anything you need right now for the next hour, I am free for you, Mama. I know you brought me in. You waited 9 months. Well, you waited 9 months, and then when I was 20, I gave you 20 years, Mama, in the house, and I think I paid you back for those 9 months. But you can never pay back for your life. There is no pay back for your life. And for your mother and your father, no matter what they treat you at all, you always must understand the only thing you can ever do in this life is to move on. Just move on. You don't need the trouble. And today it's double trouble. They watch for everything. Everybody has been a psychologist. Everybody thinks they know, but they only know what they know of what they think they know of what somebody else told them what to do, and they may not think of what somebody else told them what to do was a good thing, but they did it anyways because it was their job. It was against every aspect of their own sanity, but they did it because they have no money. And others do it for the sanity of the ego. Look at that, I'll be the best there is. I'll bust them all up, I'll bust their chops, I'll be pigs and I'll bust the chops of the pigs. There you go. So they bust them all up, all the chops of the pigs. And then you go 666, 18. 2 times 9, 18. Don't forget, we play with 2, we start with 1, we end up with 3. They call that sick bow. 19 equals 7, 3. Sick bow, 27 times 7, 1 under the last moon. 7 by 27, 140, 49, 169. Not good. The third dice comes into the game of sick Bo. It comes from Asia. The odds and what you do in this game and the number of dice they possess shows you that when you have to play anything over 10 or 11, it pays you more than the value of 1 for 9. It pays you above the value, showing 2 worlds. Sick Bo pays 180 to 1. If you get all the same numbers, you lock 3 worlds. 60, 60, 60. Okay, it should only be 60-60 because the sign of Trinity is 120, 120 split by 60 and 60, and also reconnected by the 90 of 120 and 120, connecting 120, 120, 240, then bringing the center of 60 of 240 of 240 equaling to a total of 180, 90 on the left, 90 on the right. I'll make you that design. Okay, what you have over here is here and here. This is 240. This is 240, and this is 120. Okay. Do you see this? Hold on, give me a minute. Do you see this? You see this over here? See the alligator teeth? See the alligator teeth? There are 2 pieces. One has a drill bit in the middle of it. See this? What happens is it goes on top of the bell like this. They become one. See the inside? See the glare? They run as one sun. They recapture the energy and they redistribute the energy through this design. When I speak about all the art that I do and everything I do, nothing is finite. I may use the wrong terminology, but nothing is finite. Nothing is the end result. It's only a result. I show you, here's a result. I must take a fixed stance somewhere. You can rebound off of that. Any direction you want. All and every single time. It's break time right now during the job, and I'll invite you to the break. Usually most people take a 15-minute break, and I'm going to take a little bit shorter of a break than normal. I would prefer that my lights work, so I'm going to go and check something. Still weird, eh? Isn't it pretty weird? I have no lights. This is as bright as it gets where I live. So we're on break now. Go to your fridge. Get something to snack. You want some hemp seed? You know what I eat? I eat hemp seed. I eat seeds of this and seeds of that and seeds of this and seeds of that. And as I go on and I see and I read the names on the labels, I'm starting to understand the numbers they come from. So based on the numbers they come from, how I can bring my foods together to understand how they will work in my body. But at the same time, one of the pieces that is missing is I must understand not only from where I came, Always remember the purity of your mother, okay, because that is absolutely pure right away. For up to a certain point, we're still born missing pieces, but they took these pieces and they closed them down in our same body. They couldn't take them away because the DNA didn't let. They just sort of chemically modified our second heart, more or less like heartburn now. The heartburn, because they cut that piece out of your stomach, and the generator that was supposed to grow from there for the heartburn is no longer there. I look at oils. I look at salts. I try to think how they elementary, my son, how they go together, these salts, and how I can keep my esophagus, okay, communicating with my pelvis. Because that's, for me, one of the biggest things. It's not communicating with my pelvis, not one bit. Oh, my break? Oh, I'm still taking it. Don't you worry. Sometimes the cigarette is hard to light. I know I don't smoke, but you know what? I keep away from tobacco. So we still can't get any brighter, right? My mother always told me when I look at her, she had to turn down the lights. I didn't say turn down the audience. So we were talking about 9/11. We were talking about 9/11. 9 and 2. 8 and 1 is 9. 7 and 2 is the next number. 2, 1 and 1 is 2. 8 and 7, because 7 is the digital to 8. We run through 8 into 9, and this is the only 101 you ever get. 21 times 47, because 8 is 4 and 4. 8, 4 and 3, 7. No, not 4 and 3, 7. 4 and 2 and 1, 7, because in the deck of cards, not counting the diamond, 3 of them are like that. The diamond is different. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 and 6. 3 and 6 is 1 above this and 1 under this. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. 27, 36, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. What are we missing? 4 and 5. But that's okay. Here's your 5, here's your 4. 2 and 2 become 4, because you need 4 because 1 comes together to create 5. The 2 is on the bottom of the 7. The 3 is on the bottom of the 7 card. It's the 8 card. This makes up the 8 card. On the bottom of it, the 8 has 3 to the 5 to the 2 in the center to the 8. 2 on the top is 4. 2 and 2 is 4. And 1 in the center, leaving 5 up. 5 and 2 is 7. Then you have 3 down. 2 and 1 is 3. The moons of Deimos and Phobos. If God said, I left the imprints in your DNA, man is from the earth. Man's DNA is whatever comes and results from the earth. So if you say highway, byway, city, central city.com, well, the first thing I'm going to say is it's on this planet. It's definitely the first time of 360 degrees, but 360 degrees is the extension between here and there, and that's why there's a service charge for the time it takes for me to drive from my office to yours. Because if I have to drive 9 hours to get to your office, to sleep over there, to work 3 hours, to come home the next day, something's wrong with Service Central. So as we lower from the top down, we go from 100 degrees on the roof. Excuse me, 110 on the roof. Do you know why it's 110 on the roof? Because there's a freaking antenna that goes over the roof. How high does that antenna send out before it reaches down on the roof and all the way around, shadowing New York City? The Big Apple, because my friends, when there's a Big Apple, there's 2 other stories. There is the roots, there is the core. Let's count what above the ground, and let's count what is below the skies. And into the ground, where and how deep is New York? And my question is, in this point, would this actually be the Northwest reality to the world? When you called for the core, New York, is that the complete opposite, or is it right on? Which part of the Big Apple is it? Remember how many bites it takes on an apple before you go all the way around on the average size mouth? Don't forget, everything is in order for the average size mouth. It saw the smallest, it saw the biggest, it knew, boom, I'm going to go in the center and call it number 5. I'm going to go to the left, I'm going to go halfway. Halfway to the left from halfway to the right. I'm in between, I met him halfway. We stepped over one leg over each other. It looked like the X. It was a body connected down to the ground. That was X over X. I created an X, you created an X. We only created one X in between us. But you had one, I had one. We were together. We held 2 hands. That made 11. We had 1 foot in our world, 1 foot in your world. Looked like VXW, looked like a VW. We'd be living together, holding hands. 1 and 1, because I'm still holding on to the center 5 of where I was. But now we're 10. 5 holds 9 with 5. But when 1 got involved, it's because of the moons. U, N, all U, and N, and every letter that does that design is because we're working on the same number system. We have more number systems. They overlap. We have to understand how they overlap, how large they have to be. We have to understand in games like Monopoly, where there's squares and it looks like there's 4 squares in every single corner. That would make 16. So if I ran down the board from corner to corner, that would make 13 on 2 sides. And then in between, we know the properties are 9 and 9. So 13 and 9 is 22, and 13 and 9 is 22. Equaling to a total of 31. 22, 3, we take 3 in the corner, 3 in a corner, 3 in a corner, 3 in a quarter, 3, 6, 9, 12. Now we go 9 is 21, 12, 21. The first corner, 12, 21. The first time one links with somebody else at the railroad, once you meet at the railroads, you have linked both of the whole side. It's the 4 in the corner makes 8. Plus the totality in between, 18, equals to 26. It happens on one side and then the other side, 26, 26. In between, it's 36. So it's 52 and 36 is 88. Exactly the piano. Exactly the piano. All we're looking is to match, to match, to match, and to match, and to match so much you forget the reality of the words you learned when you woke into this world and you were woven into your thinking. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. Well, light me a fire too once you're at it. You're a woodsman, you know, get out of the forest, get your ears inside. Two and 3, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 and 3. Your first 5. How did you make your first 5? It took a 2 and it took a 3 because we had the 1 already. 1, 1, 1. When you first come in, okay, on the dice, okay, on the card, it shows you. When we stand the card straight up the way we know it, it shows you 2, 5, and 8. Low shoe makes it 9, 5, and 1. When it shows 2, that tells you Venus. But Venus is the put together of 2 corners. Venus is her. It's she. It's automatically you put together 2 corners, not because I want to put together 2 corners, because the result of the understanding shows 2 corners. Here is 3. Here is 2. I'm not going to go all the worlds because it's regardless. If I put it this way, I'm going to fill in the gaps. I have 4 gaps. If I put it this way, it's fine. This shows what is to the right of me and what is to the left, what is above, what is below. What is below is my thumb, what is above is my finger. I can do it like this, but like hell, I can't even hold it like this. You couldn't see it. The best way to present it is ta-ta, the thumb and the finger, ta-ta, 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 5 and 1, represents 14. Okay? 5 and 2 represents 14. 5 and 3 represents 14. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3. You're only being held on by this. That's 4. That's 5. That's 1. This one and this one come together. It takes these two to catch this one. And then this one, okay, catches this one. This, you see, let me look in the mirror. See this one here, it's all alone. But it's boxed in. Look what finger it is. It's the next finger. Look. Okay, I can't put my finger there. This is natural. This is natural. Open up to my palm is a 3. So whatever my fingers can naturally do, when I understand the concept, I believe it will tell me a secondary story to how many levels there are. If we go to multiple levels and we want to speak about the alphabet and the angles, we need to move up and over, down and out, up and over, down and out. We are creating the cavern. We are creating a perfect blueprint that whatever we put on top of our stilts, okay, it can fall down as many times as it wants. But the stilts we put up must show the coordinates of whatever reality we choose before we build. We cannot change this. This is a cube. Follow the cubical ways. This is how you build. If you want to build on an angle, angle perception what? Is that the tilt? If you are walking straight, but yet you are on an angle, you are on an angle to who? Who and where or what is this angle? What is the understanding of the perception and the concept of the verbal diarrhea I present to you right now? We spoke about this. 410, the Day of Atonement. 164, the light of Zion, Israel. They're matching every one of these numbers. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. 22, 23, 24, Grover, Cleveland. 29, 27, 28, 29. These are all 9, 11, 4, 5, 6 Federation numbers. This is A, E, and I. This is O. This is the 2 eyes of the owl. Because when you descend from the 90-degree point to nothing, because you can't go from the 90-degree to nothing, nothing's there. It's the space in between wherever life is, between the left and the right, is the 90-degree low shoe north to the left and to the right. It has to be 80. 4 and 4 and 4 and 4. But one corner of the 4 will always meet in the same world, counting 3, and then the multiple worlds that join it will also lose another corner. All the corners will meet other worlds. So your center 4 will meet 3 here, and 3 here, and 3 here, and 3 here. 6 and 6 is 12. Plus the 4 you are, and that is the 16. 1, 6, 5, because the 0.5 is the halfway of who you are to everywhere, of wherever you go, and you need not believe and understand of 159, which is the distance between 4 and 4, because that is your in and your out. That is the continuous. And what you're holding onto are the extensions between 3 and 7, the leaf. So you come in through 1, 5, and 9, and you extend to 3 and 7. You bring one world into the next world. So you're really not going to the lower world, because the lower world is an extension. It's a lower world created in this world. You go up to number 3, Earth, but Uranus joins you. Uranus joins you in number 9 and goes all the way up into number 3 with you, but joins you, and it meets you in number 6 later on in life. Obviously after 6 years old, somewhere else. So that's how we get that S in that snake. What is Uranus used for then? Somehow they DC plus and DC negative the same thing. I'd like to know how that works, 10404. We were talking about this design over here. 240 spread, 120, 120. The 240 spread, 120, 120. You have to give somebody for here. He's got to have a value. Now the thing is, how do you want to do this? He goes a little bit higher. He comes all the way down, and he makes a right and a left angle all the way up. So instead of him forcing you out, and he's instead of sharing with you 120 and 120 degrees, 240 degrees, he goes all the way up here, and he comes all the way down here to join you here, and all the way down to join you here. Can you see that? So you see the 240. So this goes all the way up, and it comes all the way here, and it comes all the way here. So this is 120. This is 120. And this here is 240. 240 up here, because he splits 120, 120, but he has to become 240 to come up here. Same thing as this over here, 120. He becomes 240 upside down. He opens up the 240 here. So he joins your 240 with that 240, and that's 480. But it's 240 plus 120 is 360. 240 plus 120 is 360 is 720. Plus the 120 is 840 down below. So you see how it creates the arrow between the two sides? We need to have the opening. We have to understand dimensions. We have to see numbers. We have to understand relations in numbers. 101 is because 9, okay, is not. 9 is 8. 9 is an equivalent to 8. 9 is an equivalent to 8. You need a birth to bring 4 and 4 together. You need the birth to bring 4 and 4 together. You bring 4 and 4 together, you get 1. But now your moons are missing because you collectively pick up your 1 moon because Luna, my friends, is in your head. Luna in the sky is not Luna. Luna is in your head. 12 plus 21 plus 14 plus 1, 15, 36, 46, 50, 12, 33, 33, and 15. It's 48. Luna is in your head. 48 and 57 is 105, 165. Luna's in your head. 1 for 1. 3, 3. Creation of the 2 zeros. 3 and 3. Your DNA is an exchange for your head. They pass the moon in your head. It's Phobos and Deimos. 9-0 is this over here. 9-0 is one of these. How many do you need to make man? If you need 6, you need 540 degrees. 1.5 times 360. Because if God is 100% and we have to be the half-light, we can't even be 50%. We only can be 90% of 50% is 45. Why? Because it's outside his circle. 9 times 5 equals 45. Take away 5, he's 100. Oh, actually, he's 110. You see, the good Lord starts at 110% because once he has us on, we're just like him. He's 10, 10 is 100. We're 10, 10, 10 is 1,000. Put 1,000 on the left, put 1,000 on the right. Jack me up 2 levels. Okay, instead of 10,000, jack me up 2 levels. Put me at 1,000,000. 1,000,000 is 8 zeros. Okay, here we go. 8 zeros. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can do this. We're going to collectively do this. There we go. 1,000,000. There you go. There you go. 1,000,000 right there, buddy. The $6 million man, because this area, that's number 5. 5 and 1 is 6. There's a $6 million man. 33, the creation of both record players, my friend. 5, 5, and 5 by 3. 5 by 3 by 1 of 4 and 2. 2 and 1. And 2 and 2 is 4 and 1 is 5. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 is 1. Bring the light within the same die. Luna, the moon. This equals to 47. This equals to 44. The difference is 3 creation. Don't look at these numbers. Let's look at Nostradamus. What Nostradamus did And I looked at what Nostradamus did, and I said, woohoo! I'm bipolar, and I see the same thing as Nostradamus. Yeah. All right. Okay, so if I'm bipolar and I'm seeing what Nostradamus can do, then I like it. I'm just going to continue it. And woohoo! Einstein, Neptune, the Adam's apple. All reality. In fact, every time I saw somebody doing something, I was so excited. So I only followed what everybody else did, and I stretched it out just one piece more. If there was a question that was missing, only because I remember I was watching this great show. They asked so many good questions. And the guy in the show, he says, never believe anything. Always question the next step. He says, if you never stop questioning, he says, you'll really never know what the reality is. Only be satisfied with it in, but never be stopped to be satisfied without. Do within with your own heart and stay within your own area. Do not disturb sign put up and bother no one. But understand, that's what it is. You want the reality. Then you can live your life. I want to know the rules before I move in. Should something about the rules disturb me, I will not sign the contract. Speaking to myself, smiling at the guy saying, hey, great stuff. Not that I want to speak like that to the guy, but wholeheartedly, I've hurt people, and it hurts to hurt people, being honest and true. So I just stay silent. Not because I should stay silent, 1111111, but because the silent is only the matter. If you know in your heart for your better understanding, and you know the risk of disturbing somebody else's mind, especially a good friend, is heartbreaking, and it's not going to hurt anybody. You say nothing. You arrange your ways around these people and keep them your friend and show them how it is and discuss. We need to discuss. Everybody is, oh, I can't believe you did that. Why'd you do that like that? I can't believe you're always picking on me. We're not picking. We're having differences. This is who I am. Let's understand how come I'm like this. Let's try to fix my understanding. Let's say it's my problem. Even the minute you see I have a problem, when you say I have a problem, okay, I'm ready to say, okay, please let me show me. I want to know what is, when you mention problem being the same, I don't like you. There's something about you I don't like. So tell me. Okay, don't expect me to change. Just expect that we will understand, that we will have a discussion and the difference. Like automatically that two gears that come together, if the two gears don't like each other, everything stops for everybody else. So that's not the way it's made to work. A continuous reality in life, in creation, recreation, and all reality of continuing the flow is all about A, not C, but A and B. Because the continuation is C back to A again. Once you go through B, you're back to A again. 1B, A, 4, 2B, 5, 3, 1, 2. You know, so it's like a song. It's all just a basic, panel. So I'm going to go back to this that we spoke about earlier, if you remember. Okay, and this becomes 16. This becomes 4. 22 is bust out in life because they created a second circle. There weren't two hands. When you left, the first hand of the clock was always going home. All the time. Forever and ever. Do you know how far you are from home? You're 1 1/4 the distance from home from the area space you both used. Your next door neighbors. The two hands of the clock that go around each other all day long, but at their hearts, they run around the same beat. That's how far we are from the reality of the spirit world. That's how far we are in understanding where you stand to where you perceive to where you are, in the area you stand to the city you play and to the name you reflect. The reality is, I am standing on earth, just like everybody else. The reality is what you see about this planet and what you think is not the totality and the end result. The end result is there's a big piece missing. And it's all part of the greater game. It's like the Olympics, because we're the end result of this creation of this new DNA they brought in. Monkeys? Animals talking? What are you talking about? Of course they talk. You know who told me? Yeah, this mulatto guy told me. You know how I know? They're more his color. We're not men. Are you kidding me? You know what we are? We're like the thorn of a rose. The thorn of a rose. Most definitely the thorn of a rose. We're the pinpoint of what should try to be between left and right perfect, trying to bring in the worst you could with the best that you got in order to see if they can both force each other to create the opposition, to create a point even stronger than it is. Damn cigarette. Oh, don't say damn. I saw the beaver on the dam, double nickel beaver, beaver dam, Hoover dam. Things that go up and down. Don't say dam is a dame, but in French they say dam for a queen. Number 17, the queen, right? The left wing of the queen is number 3, earth. 7 and 3, the aleph letter, which is a backwards Y. The Y is a line that's on a 45-degree angle in a world that's warped. We all know that north is towards the left. Looking towards the north, we all know north is towards the west. Nothing starts until 9/11. You have this hand here, and you have this hand here. I don't care if you touch one finger. You've touched the whole hand. It starts at number 1. This is number 1. This is number 1, my friends. He comes as a point of 2. He holds up 5. He's got 1 demander, the 4 that's coming to the grip, and there's the palm we hold up. Number 1, put a nail in here. We put a nail here, we put a nail here, we put a nail here. So much for number 1. It took 3 nails to nail 1 in. It took 1 hammer for each nail. Each hammer had the hammer is across like this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points, 7 points on a hammer. Hammer's a gateway for 1 nail that has the top to the bottom that nails through the center. 1, 2, 3. Unless you have a 1-inch nail. What size are the nails? What size are the screws? What kind of walls? What angle are we putting it on? And if the boards had to be on the same level, where would be the cutouts? How do the cutouts work? Again, 90 degrees. Take away 10 for the roof. Then take away 40. Then take away 80. And now you have the floor. Now let's do the levels. The floor, okay, 0 is in between the floor space, because the floor space has to come out in the in-between, or do we start below? How do we do the floor space? If I build the floor, and the floor is underneath my measuring tape, I'm touching the floor, I don't show a floor. I have to be above the floor on my blueprint. And I can start from here. This is the bottom, this is the top. Will the in-between of my floor always be a 0.5? Okay, and we don't have a floor at 0. So the first time we have a floor, it's automatically going to be what? Below, above, in between, 15. Below, above, in between, 15, separation. Below, above, in between, 15, separation. I think they call it something to do with the square inch. Okay, so we all know what we did over here, right? We brought this together, and here's your arrow. Now with this arrow, to understand, on the 9 key and the O key are these half circles, these half moons. Now are these half moons covering a whole key? Well, look at the key and see the size of the image on it, and it looks like it's covering the whole square. If it is covering the whole square, it's counting for 3 positions, okay, which is 1 towards the center out, 1 towards the center in, all rounded off. When you do it straight, that will be the center of the point. You cannot do it any better. That is the measurement of the rounds. So you take one out here to here, one out here to here. Here it is. One is here, one is here, one is here. It takes 4 of them. This is one of them. This one is 99. 9 on this end, 9 on this end, 5 in the center, 959, 959, 959, 959. Einstein, 1776. Einstein, 1776. And is the exact number for Neptune. And 9 times 5 is 45. And 9 and 5 is 14. And we always need 14. We always need 14. 14 falls on every level. And 7 falls on the other level. If we would reduce this dice, okay, and instead of having the opposites of 7s, okay, on the side all the way around 14, what if we would take away and put the opposites, take away the 6 and take away the 1? If you took away the 6 and you took away the 1, you would only have the 5 and 3, 8, and the 4 and 2, 6. 5 and 3, 8. 4 and 2, 6. Then after that, what if you had the 1 and 6, 7, and the 4 and 2, 6, or the 1 and 6, and the 5 and 3, 7 and 8. Okay, so this is what actually happens. Eight, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. The light, electric company, the added in. There's an extra 1. You don't need the 1. There's 2 2s in here. There's a 1 and 2 in here. Here's the 1, 6 light. Okay? The 1, 6 light is one other on the other side. It's instead of saying 5, 4, it says 5, 6. But saying 5, 6 automatically, the only thing you want to count inside the 5 is the 1. You don't want to count the 5 at all. You couldn't give a damn. You already got 4. You already have a D before you became an F. Before you became deaf, you knew what was going on. You had the hammer and the sickle. The little birdie was in your head, but you still screamed at him. You still lifted your hand. You were still irrelevant to the fact that the whole thing, possibility of a communication would be better than doing anything else other than the struggle between words and screaming at each other, and obviously somebody at the end gets hurt. You have to think. This is all reality of thinking. This is not only the story I am building of the reality. This is how we have to think. We can't lift our hands. And the biggest thing is we must know how to speak with each other. It's an obligation. In fact, you want me to tell you something about your 2 wings? 0 is on this side over here. And 9 is inside over here, right? No, you're it. And you're holding your 2 hands out in the air. You're holding your 2 hands out in the air just like this. 1, 22, 22, 22. And you have people beside you. Not just one person. You need a person in front of you. You need a person to the left of you. And you need a person to the side. You bring all of us together in a reflective mirror that when we speak, we actually see the 4 realities. We're not seeing the 4 realities. We're showing our own reality. And there can't be one judge. And there can't be a jury for hire. It's a jury for love. So we actually can see the people and we can't take sides. We have to understand the true colors of our own hearts before we start going, how can we judge? Because we see different. We see different on one reality. We see one reality, and the one reality we see is our own. Our judgment is the one reality. If you don't mention all the sides, there are no sides. And if 9 out of 10 out of 11 people can't decide 10 to 1, there is nothing. It has to be 10 to 1. Minimum. You cannot, if the jury won't, and you can't force it. If it takes a year to go through it, well, guess what? Show the person the reality. Their own reality. We need to learn our own reality. But I got an ego, and I don't want anybody to teach me. Forcingly showing me. Say, hey, I don't get, well, you get what you get. Can you explain it to me? Well, what do you see on what I do, and what do you get, what you perceive that I don't get, that I'm giving that you don't get? Well, there you're getting something. Well, anyways, to go on and on and on. Oh, so all right, okay. So we got to the moon, right? We went up to the moon, right? We did this whole thing over here. 2 times 3 is 6, and 4 is 10. 2 times 5. Remember I said 3 and 5? 2 times 3 and 2 times 5. Because 3 and 5 and 5 and 2 is 7, and 3 and 5 is 8, and 8, 7, and 6 are all the same, because if you look into the deck of cards, and 6 is the end, and that is the beginning of the next level, in which 7 and 8 adds 1 and 2 moons inside the 7 and the 8 card, and I'm not reflecting yet on the angles that things go in, and which pieces and parts go together, and what letters they recreate, and what it tells us in words after that, once we put the angles and letters for the levels of 100 degrees of minus the roof and the antenna 110 all the way down to the center, in which the center takes 10 above and 10 below, and 10 inside and 10 on the outside is 20 above and 20 below, which is 68. 68 level of 90 is 32, so everything measures in between 32 and 48, meaning 40 and 60, Zion, Israel. If the measured space they interrupt or get inside, and I wish I can tell you exactly. I knew exactly what I'm saying. Is when you get down from the top level and you start climbing up the stairs or down the stairs. Let's say floor number 1, you would say 12, and floor number 2, you would say 24, and floor number 10, you'd say 240. Okay, and the minute you want to add another one, you can't, because floor number 10 is the end. 5 and 5. 5 is the U-turn. Separate them. They are the digital U-turn. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. The digital U-turn right here. The Twin Towers were 110. This is the digital U-turn at 110. Understanding this, I'm presuming that the core of the apple in New York goes underneath the ground and the energy is below the earth, sucking it in from the water in the sky and pulling down the energy and connecting the sky with what's underneath the earth. As the Statue of Liberty, is it made out of metal? Is the Statue of Liberty made out of metal, green metal? Is she turning green? She's turning green because she's alive. The Statue of Liberty in my reality is alive. Not because it is alive, because I'm telling you, this is the story. She's alive because I'm telling you a story for the last hour and 27 minutes and 25 seconds. Okay? Telling you a story. I see inside all my numbers and fidgeting around for the last hour and 27 minutes that she has now become alive because of her color. And my first thought, I was thinking of my psychosis psychologist says to me, what was the first thing you thought? When? Yesterday. What time? When you got up. Was that before or after breakfast? Give me the coordinates. Give me the coordinates. If you're going to ask me a question, give me the coordinates for the better perception to know where you're going with your question. I should understand exactly what you're asking because you know the exact balance. You have to be prepared that I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Treat me stupid and kind at the same time, perceiving I'm a delinquent and you feel sorry for me. Treat me that way because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Think that I'm smart and I should know everything you think, and then you say, whoa, he's stupid. Well, think me stupid before you begin. Think ye smart for explaining it right. Took me an hour and 45 minutes to finish a beer. So we bring back these numbers one more time. 4, 7. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6 becomes 7 and 6. Why is it 7 and 6? Because you go like this. 1, 2, 3 equals 1. 4 equals 2 and 2. 5 equals 2 and 4. Because once you get to 5, you now have the expanded worlds. There's in-betweens. The world's here, the world's here, the world's here, and the world's here. If there was no world anywhere, okay, if there was no world, then it would not sit down on 4 points calling one end dead. Because when you call 1 dead, you call 4 dead. You call 9 dead. You call 14 dead. You call 15, 16, 17 has just died. Why? Because we're not counting that 1. And the 1 counts for everybody else. So then you look on top. You don't have 6 up. You have 11 up. You don't have 6 up. You have 9. 9, 11 up. 9, 11 corner up. 14. You turn it all the way around. You turn it all the way around. Hold on, I'm trying to... That was 14, right? There's the 6. 10, 12. I had 12 and 14. 12 and 14. Pi, 3.1415. You know why 1415? Because 4 and 1 and 6. 1, 5. Okay? Because 5 is in 2. 1 is in 6. Connecting 4, 6, 2, 5. So pi 3.14159265 is right here on this corner. And this says Zion Israel. Bet Zion Israel. The bet and the vet of Zion Israel is this one over here. And this is not me. This is the, when I read a dice, I don't read a dice saying, what does everybody think? No, if I know what it is, because I connect 6 and 4 to the DC world, and it also spells Zion Israel. The DC world, okay? The DC world, 4 and 3. 4 by 3 is 12. 4 plus 3 is 7, is 19. That is 1/3 of 57. That reconnects to 47. 47 times 2 is 94. Reconnecting Uranus, okay? Uranus is now linking up. Uranus comes around through Pluto and over to Earth. Before that, we didn't have this side. This was an empty corner. Okay? This is the time corner. You see, it goes from here all the way around to here. And then, well, you know, it's a formation. They link together. Okay? When this one goes down and this one is up, it passes over. It lives in this cycle on one side. It lives in this cycle on this side. It lives in that cycle on this side. It lives in this cycle on this side. And then all of a sudden, what happens is it's off the page. And it's no longer in the cycle, and it's somewhere down here. And then you come back into this cycle. But you're always going in fabricated cycles in order for the main goal, the main event, the reality of 1, 2, 3. We either land the plane, we take off the plane, and then we fly in the middle of the air. The first one, the last one, most important to reality of what's going on in the air? No, there was no reality. Not one. There's 1,000 jets out there. The reality is no matter what you do, you have to rely on everybody. You're relying on everybody for everything. There's a stress for everything, and we dislocate our reality, living with it. Oh, let's take a plane off every 9 seconds. Should something happen in 12 seconds? You know, we didn't have enough time, but we've been doing it a long time. This is how we augment. We augment. We need to augment. We need to die because we know we live all the time. To better our reality is to live forever. And the goal to live forever is how to fix that reality, that survival, okay, of the fittest is not the difference of the reality of what it is itself. And that's for reality of eternal life. And when you speak with someone else, it is an eternal thought. It is not just for the moment. It is forever. We go home. Oh, why did I do this? Why didn't I do this? And if it's not today, in a month, how come Johnny's not friends with me? Well, Steve, you know, You kicked him in the head 4 times, told him he's a big fart ass, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but he still offered to help me in my homework. Oh, there you go. What do you think about that? You must be a crazy guy, eh? Because he helped me after I kicked him in the head? No. We understand. We help each other learn. Just ask the right question. What went on? How can we separate the differences? Let's not fight someone else's reality, because we all know that reality is, I can't have 5,000 friends. It's not true. I can feel for you all. But between me and you, can't have 5,000 friends. What you can always have is that cyber love. The love that is a connection. It's a round table love. The round table cyber love is when everybody jumps onto the same carpet. And no matter where you are in the world, once you are on this carpet, you feel all the vibrations of everyone who stands for the love. The ones who understand, they just understand, I'll move over, I'll move over, I'll move over. And all of a sudden, click, click, click. Hey, Johnny, did you see Laura? Yeah, she's talking about you. She said you were a shithead the night before. You're going to lose all your friends. Well, this is the reality of the machine, that if you insult the machine, it's going to push you over to a different life. You're going to start seeing things a little different. You're obligated. It'll send you little messages in order to change, in order to have the existence in the place you want. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting pushed aside until you stop. So first you have to stop. Then the time elapses before you begin again into the new system. If you do not help to elapse that time, you will still keep forcing your time. It's patience and hold your horses. Now we're going the other side. We go around. We go around 10. So the difference between in 10 is I am 10, but I am 10 the center of 9 and 11. I'm not shit at all. I'm nothing at all. First level at 10 equals 4. Second level at 10 Second level at 10 equals 8. Third level at 10 equals 12. Fourth level at 10 equals 16. Fifth level at 10 equals to 20. Sixth level at 10 equals to 24. 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. But you do have to understand that when you come from the 110th story of the tower, you have to climb down the tower. You have to climb up the tower. I don't care which way you're going. I just want to break it up. Above, below, east and west, whatever it is, the end result is 5 is the heart of dividing a whole. This 5 here is nothing. It's a heart of dividing a whole, bringing the north and south and east and west of every vertebrae all the way up to the top. Why don't we just call it 11? The elevator, the box we get in. The box, because the area space it takes to ride the area is a box. The end result is horizontal, 8 feet to get inside. Have a good ride, sir. Madam, thank you for passing. You're welcome, Cadbury. I always knew Richie Rich was okay. 90 degrees. These are all 5s. 1, 5, 9. Then after the first one, the 1 is the first one. Okay, this is 5, 9. And every time you link them all together, right? We link them all together, and these become 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5. Okay, all the way down. Why don't we count this again? I want to ask you a question. You stand from head to toe. Here's your mouth 1. Okay? It's all the way down at the bottom of your toes. That'd be the end of you. So when you end, okay, I'll say 2. But for now, it's 159, 159, not 59, 59, because inside 5, the 1 is carried. It is the passage all the way. It's a real weird night tonight, eh? Just give me a second. Trying to change the color. I wish, oh, I like that better. No, I like, let me see. I was just looking at that over there. Oh my God, look what's happening across the street. Oh my God, my neighbors. What are they doing? My neighbors, holy shit. I'm living on another planet. No way. Yeah, look at that planet, like Planet X or something, eh? It's like Planet Nibiru's coming in. Oh no, that's not Planet Nibiru. Look at all them windows. Could be the ship to the Knight's Den. I can see over towards the left. They're chopping the room down. Choppity chop. Choppity chop. Reality sets in. Reality sets in. They cut out the files. They cut out the files. You see those X-Files running around? Shh. The lights, they play tricks. They play tricks on our mind. Which lights are we going to go with? Which lights do we paint with? Should we use the reality of lights? I paint in one color, but I use the lighting system for the next color. Let's see what else we can do. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing what a few lights can do? I'm not done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not done, ladies and gentlemen. We are not done. I have spoken to Mary Jane, and Mary Jane has brought me a confirmation. 3.14159265553. We have an answer. We have communication. 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, from the outer world. Don't tell me! I just heard that on the news today! The Martians were calling. Holy cow, we heard the same thing. Grab a bagel and some cream cheese. I'm hungry for a little sushi. I want to know how it's diced. I want to know the angle of my sushi. I want to know how they cut and what they use to slice with the knife. You know, when you take something that is whole and you slice it, its two sides, all it took was a knife. But the angle of your meat has been squished together. What is the angle of that knife cut? Then now I want to put these two together again, so I'm going to take a new DNA strand. So in order to take this DNA strand, we had to call out the zebra and said, hey, Mr. Zebra. He says, what do we do, Mr. Zebra? And, well, the zebra means I'm the left arm of the dog, of course. So the left arm of the dog, of course, the zebra says, He says, I stink, he says. He says, I was once a skunk. Now I'm a zebra. You try to make the circle of life once, and you screwed it up. Now that I'm a zebra at 144.14, he says, that's the DNA route. So I'm the zebra. Is that correct? What should I do to change you from black to white? Well, black is 2911. White is 65, which means two worlds. So you turn me from white to black. That's what I see. At first I was white, now I'm black. Now we put the stripes on. Now the angle of the stripes of the zebra, okay, are going, woohoo, go left, go right, go left, go right, go left, go right, go left, go right, go left, go right. He says, when you do that, he says you'll see razor blades created all the way down. He says that'll be the Zion cut. Because to cut the Zion, the N and the Z together, and to make that strand exactly like that, but not cut out the original, but sew onto the original. Add on to it until they became one. Teach one to love the other one, not by separating and putting something in between to make them alike, but to become alike by making one extra skin and one extra stitch. At the same time, we must understand the yin and the yang and the creation of the stitches of the baseball. Because inside the stitching, okay, it's always through the hurt and the feeling better that the stitching comes together to create the skin that sticks together while it's healing. I call it the sore that I always pick off all the time. So we understand this over here, where we went 6 levels, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. We went to 60, 60 and 60, 2 clocks, 24 hours in the clock we live, plus we live the other clock. It's an automatic 48. Once there's something before us, their clock is 24, 6 by 4. If we didn't have a round clock, okay, how would we create it? The 120 open, and then we live the other world. So if that's exactly the way it was, the whole other world would be 120, 240. It would be 240 degrees between there and there. But what they would have to do, turn themselves into a ball. And they can't use, they need this part over here. I don't know exactly what it is to grab life from the lower world. Okay, and the life wraps up as a semi-C. As a semi-C design causing a U against a level. The level of 90 degrees. And it does that because it's holding the ball at the same time, and you need your circle of life. You're not a square. The square is for something else. You circle it out, and then you join the two together, creating your H and your I letter, which is your 9 and your 8, and baseball's 7th inning stretch, and the reason for the game, and H and I, and 3 balls, and 4 strikes, and 3 times 30 degrees, 4 times 15 degrees, plus 2 times 15 degrees equals 60 degrees, and the amount of space we use after we stand on the center of the earth, after the creation of the rotation of the U in the U-turn of us living as being part of the thorns of the planet, because we're the last creation. We speak last. We speak last. I mean, we can say, okay, that's it. I'm going. I didn't have to wait for Mother, did I? Well, we did. But it's an in-between ask. 4 and 6, they show in between 4 and 6, there was always 80 degrees, because there's always, don't forget, the picture frame of the total ship. Remember, the picture frame of the total ship that holds us to that picture frame is 10 and 10, 20. So you lose 20, 20, 20, 20. You lose 20, 20, 20, 20. Now we start to understand what we're going to do either in a football field, okay, the way the football feels, or in Monopoly or what other games people play, bolts, nuts, carpets, whatever it is. If it has a number and a reason to calculate something else, then it has a reality. It has its own reality. We take your own reality. We say, this is your reality in this house. You go, look what happens. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. 4888 in my house. That's great. I got them on the 48-yard line. But they didn't say 4888. They didn't say 4888. On the 48-yard line, you said 48. So stop. You have a leftover. You have a difference. Your difference is your 48. That's all. Let's understand why. Let's learn why. Your light and my light. It took the same thing for me to get my light, the same thing for you to get your light, but when we shine together, we're not twice as bright, are we? All right? Luna, the moon. 38, church. Why church? Okay, why church? Chuppah. Chuppah. Have you ever been married before in Hebrew? They call it a chuppah. Why don't you think? a little bit with me. And let's go. Hoppa. Look up. Look up. Look up. Hoppa. 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 Look up. Not sure exactly how it's going to exactly finish, but for me now, I know. I already know it. That's exactly what it means in my head. That's exactly what it means. What that means is I now have a perspective. I take the perspective and I put it in a class and I say, I found it yesterday. And then I'll find something else. And I said, I just found it now. And in 2 years and 3 years and 5 years, I'll say, oh, look, I remember 3 years ago, I was thinking just about this. And now I really believe that's what it is. I don't say anything to anybody, and I keep it to myself until the understanding can be perceived with a person who can project within a conversation into the understanding of what it means to speak about and not to detriment anything in somebody else's story, other to enhance, like, or say just okay. If you want to know, you want to know. But we just want to know and to go. Are you ready? Are you coming with us? What went on today's went the little talk. What went on today went the little talk. Because it's in the little talk, the heartful talk. Oh dear, when you really get in and sink in and feel that you're just this great, big, huge, so big that whatever tries to come about, it just doesn't exist because of who you are, how you act, and the reality around you. When you have that conformity, it's like nobody is around you, yet you seem to waltz amongst the people because you have the understanding what it means that not everybody can understand the reality. And based on the reality is the 10 Commandments. Someone was here before us. He gave us the better fluid of the understanding of the difference of the totality of the existence of forever and ever. We have to learn that because that's what brings us to eternal. Now, either you do or you don't. Either you believe in this mechanical world that we live, okay, we come into these bodies, we can live in these spirit bodies, or we can actually beam from one place to another. Or we can always feel ourselves because we're built from the ground. Instead of taking 9 months to be built, we take actually 90 seconds on our way here through the time zone. On the way here, they build us in the middle of the air. They dissolve us. The same thing in Star Trek. What's hard to think? You have a sore. Look at that. It took only 1 hour. Now it's swollen. That's the same thing. It's a virus. We were made to be broken apart by the protons, not to have these earthly body and earthly urges. When you have the earthly body, you have the earthly urge because we taught the planet everything it knows. The urge to recreate, to procreate, and you have to keep it natural because forever is natural. You keep it forever. You keep it natural. You keep it honest, and you tell no story if it can't be the whole story. Don't tell a lie, and telling half the story would only make it look like a lie, but against you. Because of somebody else's opposition to your perception, other than the understanding of the difference inside the two-way communication, that the reality of 10. 10 is this. This hand, this hand, this is the one story of my hand. Meet 10. This is the one story of this hand. Okay? This is the one story of this hand. This one divides this one from this one. These two are the judges of the two sides. These two know all the reality. This one is going to see the difference between the two sides. This one will tell the two sides the difference. And then these ones and this ones will talk while these two listen. Now these two listens to show them not of what they spoke, but of how they understood, so that they can see in another world that would not demeanor their own reality of their vision, knocking them and forcing them other than them choosing and wanting to see the reality of the difference. So this comes into the monopoly area. Monopoly area is 10 and 16. 10 plus 6, 10 minus 6. 4, 10, 16. 7, 7, 4. 747. This is the time we run right now. The time era is this. This is our time. We run the 7th gate. 7th gate is 70. Becomes 28. Becomes the moon. The 8th one becomes 80 and 32. The doorway. 80 and 32. The doorway. 90, 90, and 36, creation, 126. 100 becomes 70, and 70 is the moon. So the minute you get to 10, it becomes the moon again. The minute I got to 10, it went down to 7. So it's between 24 and 28. Do you know what these two numbers are? Those are the link in the piano. That is the piano link. 24 keys from the left to the right and 28 keys from the right to the left without touching C and D. We don't touch C and D because C is a resultant creation of the third world first. The third world first because the angle of the cut, okay, between 3 over through 5 and then down through 8, creating the L letter, cutting out the picture frame around the circle of 5, giving the empty space, leaving the 9 part of the creation into the cutoff valve around the 5 key. Let me show you this. See, here's the key over here, 8, 9, 6. These three stay together. 8 and 9 is 17 and 6 is 23. We cut out the 5 key. If we leave it, it becomes the W. And we keep 7, 4, and 1, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 17. Here we have 17 and a 9, 23, creating 40. Okay, we reconnect the corners. We have 9, 10, 11, 9, 11, 7, 7, 9, 11, one corner. We have 40. So we have 49, 51. Then we connect this corner. 53, 57. Then this corner. 67, 68, 76. And we already did this one. 8, 9, 6, 23. 6, 3, 2, 34. 2, 1, 4, 41. 4, 7, 8 is 19, is 60. 68, 77, 83. Church. It spells church. C-H-U-R-C-H. The U is the turnaround of the 3 and the 8. Why? Because we go around this. We have to go around this one here. We have to bypass it. So this is the 8. Instead of going all the way to the top here, we bypass it from here and we go here, creating the G letter or the B letter. This one is made for up here. This one is made down here. This is between the 9 and the 0, the brackets that we can use with them. So we have to make a bypass. 4, 2 is 6, 8, 8, 8. Otherwise, we have 3 and 3, but don't count 3 and 3 because 3 and 3 are two worlds. And don't count 5 and 5 because it's on the outside. So you can't count 5 and you can't count 3. You have 2, 4, and you can't count 1 because 1 is in 3 and 5. So all you can count is 4 and 2 is 6. And then on the dice, the reflection is this. Here's your passage. From 4 through 8 into 6. 6 to 8. Low shoe. 3 comes over here to 1. Low shoe. 2 comes over here to 1. 2, 1 is 3. 3, 1 is 4. 3, 4 DC inside a low shoe. I'm way behind in videos. I don't even know if this is going to be uploaded. It's registering it. Another thing is, one other thing is, I started here. I came out. I went all the way around and all the way around and all the way around in here. I live in here. When I die, I live in here. Okay, no, I come out here. I start here and I come out here. Now what happens over here, okay, is I come out and I assume I move all the way into here again. See this connection from here to here? I come out here and I go over here. And I live all the way over here. This is, I can't explain this right. Anyways, you see this over here? If I am 5 to the left and 5 to the right, okay, don't forget, this is the square, right? I have to take a square and the square has to go right in the middle. I have to become exactly the way they are, and then I have to become twice my size because I need to take both sides up. So they all have to come together in me at once. I must always think they're always coming for dinner. So if they're four parts, and the next one is 4 parts, and the next one is 4 parts, and the next one is 4 parts, okay? So me and them is 8, and then me and them again is 8, and then me and them again is 8, me and them again is 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 32, 32, 32, 64. 64. How many of me? Always one of me. Me and them 1, me and them 2, me and them 3, me and them 4, 8, 8, 8, 8, 64. It's 8 times. So it's 8, but I don't need 8. I only need 7 because I am the last in. You are the last out. I am the spirit. I am the last in. You are the last out. Me and you is the last out. I'm the first one in. Me and you are the last ones out. Okay? So it doesn't matter how it happens. I didn't like what I just said. So what else did I do? You know, it's funny. Like, I mean, reality check. Let's take a reality check here, okay? I don't do this quite often, right? I brought this stuff on. You know what I wanted to show it? Because I'm embarrassed to have this in my house. I don't feel good. I collect it, not because I drank it or I didn't drink it, because I like the box. Someone will come here and look at it and say, oh my God, you must be a drinker. The perception. Always people are remarking we're so unbelievable retardedness. How people think what other people should be doing. Who are we? Who are we? If we don't know that we ever lived before, don't you think that if we ever lived before and we had a choice to come back, we were going to choose to come back knowing nothing? So in all reality, we have to think that after life, there is nothing. But I think it's greater that we came here for a reality check. Who are we to make decisions? Who are we to want the worst for somebody, to get it over with quick because it's money? I see you got to go to court. I see you set up a court date tomorrow, and you got to go to court within the next 112 days. Maximum. Everything should be set up that everything processes in less than 90 days. From start to finish. Because we are ill-mannered in the truth. We are so far-fetched in the truth. We bury the bones so deep. We don't know our own reality. And then when we do know our reality, he says, oh yeah, but now it's too late. Because we had no foot to stand on. The time to think is now, not tomorrow. And the time to think is now, and not to get mad because somebody thought otherwise. So when you begin to think now, you have 3 things in your way. Somebody asking you not to go, and when you go, somebody asking you to pay it the cash. So you have to do it in a certain mannerism. Anyways, we've been on for an hour. Did I write anything down? This over here, what is the design of a real shape? The design of a real shape is this, okay? It's because it's up one level and over one level, showing you are this level, and this level. 3 levels here. Up one level, over one level, and up one level. Because you're always one away from home. This one is one away from here. This one is one away from here. This one is one away from here. And this one is one away from here. It's like black and white in my house. Okay. Why is it like this? This is the roulette board. This is the way it runs, the roulette board. It shows you wings on both sides of the numbers. Okay. This over here would either be 10 and 13, or it would be 7 and 7. Do you know why? because 13 is a 10 and a 3. 10 equals 7. It'd be 7 and 3. 7 and 3 is 10. It'd be 7 again. 7, 7, 7. It repeats 3 worlds, 13. 7, 7, 7. And this world's 10. 16 becomes 7. 7 of 7, 7. This is the third side, but you can't go to the third side. Do you know why? When you get to the middle side here, when you get to the middle, you're actually on the third side because the middle takes hold of both sides. When you're going to the center, you're going in there for the help. Because he's got the help on the other side. He's got all the medication on the other side. He brings it into the middle, he medicates you, and you go ahead. So this, okay, I'm trying to figure out which way to go with the camera. This is crazy. I don't know why it's like this. Anyways, it's crazy. It's crazy. So 10 and 13 is 23 like I just showed you. Okay. 20, 10 and 20, 1, 3, 1, 3 and 5. Because inside of 5 is 2. 1 and 1 are outside of 3. When you have 3 and 2, it automatically means 3 and 7. Automatically. Because 1 and 3 are the corners. The 1 doesn't exist unless 7 comes up. So 3 and 7. And the diagonal line, they also show that diagonal line inside the roulette board. The 10, okay, the 10 and, let's go to the last one. Let's take 10 and 31 come together. 10 and 31 come together, and 10 and 13 come together. Both are 44, 44. How do they come together? Well, 10 equals to a representative 0, 6, 6, and 1, 7. And 13, 3 and 1 is 4. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is 3 and 4 is 7. So they come together 4 and 7 and 3 on the same level as 10 and 7. 1 is also represented in 5, but 1 is represented in 5 in 14. 1 is represented in the 5 inside of 23. 1 is represented in the 5 in number 32 because 1 and 2 are from separate entities. 1 and 2 or 3 and 2, they're not the same. When you have 3 and 2, okay, you have the 5. Okay, when 3 and 2 come together, it is the 5. Okay, you get the 5 or you get the 3 and the 2. The strand is the 3, okay, but the strand should be the 3 and the 1. You are the 2, the 3 and the 1. When you come here, according to what I understand, you are 2, 2, 2. You get the strand inside of you. You have 2 this way, 2 this way, 2 this way. 6 divisions of 60. Because 5 and 9 is everything in between. 9 times 5 is 45, and 90 and 50. 45 in between 45, 50, and 90. 4.5, 4 and 5, and 90, and 30. And all these numbers are the in-between coordinates of all relations to I can't even explain. I'm a little tired now. I've been running here for over 2 hours. Let me write that down. I think better when I write it down. So I got the ball, and I got 90, and what was I saying? What was the information? 90 and 45, and 9 times 5 is 45. 9 plus 5 is 14 is the cube. 1 and 4 is the center of 5 of 2 different worlds where 5 and 1 and 9 1, 5, and 9. If there was a DNA strand that came in here, okay, it's this. One, 5, 9. It's either 1, 5, 9 or 4, 5, 6. And that's the Budweiser bow tie, 4, 5, 6. So that 1, okay, that 1, if that 1 was duplicated, if you take away that 1, okay, if you completely take away 1, okay, what's red flag? Somebody tell me what's red flag. Because if red flag is anything to do with power, I want to know what red flag is. Oh, in soccer, oh my God. If you get a red flag, you're out of the game. If you get a red flag, you're out of the game. Soccer. Soccer. How does that work? A red flag. So, because there's a question, what exists first? Is it the 4 and 3 that exists first? Is it the 9 and 4 that exists first? I have a funny feeling yes. I have a funny feeling yes. We come into this world with one arm of God, with the outstretched arm of God. We only get the other one because the first arm is owned by God. The first arm is owned by the Spirit, is owned by the computer. What makes you, help you to do everything. Okay, so that's what it is. So we have the outstretched arm of God plus you So we come into the world with the outstretched arm of God. Here it is, all the way down here. Okay? And then he gives you a spot up here. This is number 3. This is 1. This is 9. Okay? Right over here. Now I'm trying to understand. Let me see that brightness again. He comes out. Everybody know that one straight line, if you take one straight line, that straight line with any line around it will create either the T or the Y. TY. It's a combination of 45. It means whatever angle you choose, you will be in between the 90 and the 45. You'll be in between the 90 and the 45, and at the same time, you will be making a split. Okay, you'll have a heart, and you will be making a split. Anytime you have a flat bar, that flat bar will always go to the center of the totality of the 90-90. There are lines going across. 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees, 5 degrees. Once you go, okay, 20 degrees, okay, 20 times 5 is 100. It equals to 68. And the reality of the 68 is Rubik's Cube has 4 moving sides and 2 not. It has 4 corners of 3 to 12 and 4 in between of 2 color to 8, equaling to the letter Z, Z, and N, Zion. Okay, so that combination, I'm just trying to think. Wow, I lost myself. That Rubik's Cube, that 4 angle, 3, 6, 2, 4, the 4 in between, the T. Yeah, when you spin a T in Rubik's Cube, you either spin 2 levels or 1 level. But if you spin 1 level, 2 levels are staying straight. 2 levels stay straight. 1 center never moves. But the centers that you do move all around to the 1 center that doesn't. The letter Y. You add 1 stick onto a straight line, and it becomes a Y or a T. 120 degrees, 120 degrees, 120 degrees. What once was 90, 90, 90, okay, is exactly the full stretch of time, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Now they lock time up. When you lock time up at 60, 60, it's 4 parts of 15 is the calculation. So you can have 1.5 parts, because if you had 2, you'd end up with half of one of the results. When you share it to the I, it's 1.5 parts. So on the I of 60, you get 1.5 parts is 22.5. You get 22.5 and 22.5 is 45 and 45. You get to own your whole 90, but it's 22.5, 90, and 22.5. 15 times 15, 15 times 15. That is the reality of 2 circles. 1 to 5, 1 to 5. I don't know, and I'm not guessing. I'm telling you because the 0 in the alphabet is number 15. How number 5 works, how all the other digits work, and how we can use the digits according to the shape and design, the areas they put them on the keyboard, calculators, etc. The roulette table. How the two wings of the roulette table split out. 135 degrees and 135 degrees to the 7th gate is 277. This year, the Day of Atonement was October 4th, the 277th day in the second reality to the leap year. The leap year is 1, 12, 13, 14. This is the last year. Next year's the last year. 2012 is the leap year. 2013, no. 2014, no. So the first part of 5 is ending in the second year. First part of 5. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1. The separation. A and B in the leap year. 4 years. This was the year, the Day of Atonement. It had to happen before the day because we run into the door. We're driving into a light. It is a green light, okay, but we're going into it as a red light. But we go into it to preserve ourselves, that who should be behind us doesn't see the green light coming because they're further off where I have not left the spot yet. And now there they come up my rump. And that's because of the reality of the perception. The last part I'm going to go over here is 20 minus 6.5. Remember, DE, 7, 3, white, black, yellow, all represented by the same numbers, 11, 9, 6.5 from 20, 6.5 from 21 is 14.5, 6.5 from 20, and 13.5, AC, this is the link connection, 13, 31, 11 times 11 times 11. Don't forget, heads and tails, 135, 135. This one connects to this factory. This one reconnects to this factory. It should actually say 531. 1551, 47 times 33 is 1551. 1 times 5, 1 plus 5 is 56. 11, 11, Jesus Christ. This becomes 6. This one, 8, 7, 8. 8, 7, 8, 9, 11. 8, 9, 2. 2, 9, 8. You want to see something really weird? Look. Nine two 8 8 2 9 2 7 2 9 7 7 2 2 9 and 2 is 2 2 7 2. Because you can't get 181, right? See this? Do you know why there's a point here and a point here? This is you breathing. 90 degrees in between, taking up the two sides, holding the two sides between 90 and 90. You take away the amount 1 and 2, you take away the amount 1 and 2, which is 45 plus half. And don't forget, what is half? What is half? 2 times 7.5. 2 times 3.75. 3 times 3.75. It's 12 times. 12 times 3.75 equals to 375, and 750 is 45 degrees. 12 times 6 times 7.5. This is the accuracy of George, okay? This is going in between the strands, between the levels of 90 degrees, 90, 80, 70, 60, and then they start the clock. 50, 40, 20. And then the other 20, I think, has to do with the clock itself. And then the other side. And 12 times 3.75 is actually a 45-degree angle. And it's the angle that you take in between the two sides, how you link. It's how you link the two sides. I reach out with my arm, you reach out with your arm, and what that link is all about. And when you link, you draw a line all the way back to the earth to hold the stablemate of the circus tent. Anyways, this has been a wonderful afternoon. 220 minutes. No, that's 2 hours and 19 minutes. We know what happens to this, right? It cracked. It cracked. It hit an iceberg. Why did the Liberty Bell crack? The reality of the cracking of the Liberty Bell is either A, okay, they put something on top of the original bell. Okay, have you ever seen how they do that? If I cut out this thing, if I cut out this and I put it back on the inside, it'll come shorter. So they actually cut out the heart from the top, they put it back into the bottom. You see this? You see that in there? See the hole? Right, you see that in there moving? See that? It's on the outside now. So if you say to me, how can they do that? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm not a doctor. I can only give you an idea. Instead of having it on the outside, now it's on the inside. Still have it. You only need what you need to live. Okay? The modifications that happened in Earth over the last few hundred years is not 100% because of what science did, but it was through coercement and what we saw and what we let go. Because again, without everything that went on, we would know nothing that we know today. And isn't it all about learning sometimes? Except this is the level of learning we went to. We have to understand that I jumped through a hole from another world. That world was 360 degrees of the life that already existed on the world, of the memory that already existed on the world. I'm not 360 degrees. If I was anything at all, I'd be a lot more than that. I think the cycle of degrees of life is 25,920. That's what I believe. We're going to leave this video at this. The cycle of the turns and the rounds of Fibonacci is 25,920 to 25,625 with 295 in between, because we run on eternal clocks, obligating to 25,625 or to 25,920 to be multiplied by its own number, 23, and then multiplied or added one more time and multiplied by 32, and then doubled for each side, leaving the Mayan calendar of 25,000 into the millions, but knowing that for every million you do have, one is always reality. Where 8 zeros can exist, one must live. One lives in the middle of the 8 zeros. If you have 2, you have 18 zeros. You have twice that. You have Zion because you have zillions. You have 16 zeros. 1, 9, and 1. 16 zeros. One of many zeros, giving you the dimensions of Rubik's cubes. 16 zeros. You need a 1 in the center of 2 cubes. And then you need 5 cubes around it. And it has to be cubed in by cubes. And then these cubes deform and they lower themselves into rectangles, and you live inside that house, inside the nest of a great operation that takes care of the universe that we float in constantly over and over, because the world we're in is a flower of life. It's a gift, my friends. It's a gift. Is that going on? Is there some kind of stuff going on around here? Is that weird, eh? Yeah, so where was I with that? Wow. We were talking about this 15 minutes ago. How do we bring 6.5 and 6.5? You take off 1.25. 1.25, 1.25 is 2.50. So if that's 2.50, what you have to understand, if this was 6.5 and this was 6.5, minus a half is 6, plus 1.25 and 1.25, okay, is 8.5. 6.5, 8.5, 6.5. This is 74, 11 equals 85. 13 equals 4. 11 equals 2, 2, 4, 2. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 is 8, and 6 again. This is the in-between 9 legs of the cat. It's all a big, whatever it is. I can only speak it because I see it, and it's coming, and it's exciting, and it's only a book, and nothing is real. There is no reality. There never was. I'm not here. I don't exist. This is just a book. It's just a light show. Fiction. Nothing at all.